circumstances beyond our control evacuate the building. Do not look back. Do not stop.
Yes, now time for the magic words. There is no expectation of privacy in public.
No, I was muted. Hello, everybody. Well, good morning, Hezokuai fans, and welcome to the morning stream. Good to see you all here this morning. Let's see who we got. I'd like to say hello to everybody. All right, let's see. Who do we got? We got Terry Barnes. First and foremost, coming right at the beginning. Love it, love it. Cliff Higson, good morning. Let's see who else is here today. Susan, the sassy old great granny. Love you. Thank you for coming. Good to see you as always. Good to see all of you. Ikis, good morning. Hey, all right, Ikis, I want to talk about that. I sent you an email, so I did a little bit of investigation, and I found out why you weren't on there yesterday. So what happened was, at one point, I had a bot showed up in my chat, a sex bot, right? And I told my mods to get rid of it. So I don't know how much you know about this kind of stuff, but when you're trying to block a bot or anybody in the chat, you have to click on their chat and then click block. So what happened was you must have made a comment right as they were clicking and your comment moved up, so they accidentally clicked on yours. That was absolutely a mistake. You of all people would never be blocked on this channel, so you're all good. Sorry about that. It wasn't me, it was me mods, but yeah, it was an innocent, honest mistake. No big deal. So we love you. Glad you have you here. Glad you're feeling better. Hope everything turns out all right in the long run. Kim Crawford, welcome. Terry Barnes, hello. Of course, I think I already said that. Tequila Kid, Tequila Kid, Tequila Kid. I don't know. Anyway, your name looks like the Tequila Kid, which is fine with me because commentator auditor, what's up? Welcome, Chelsea Murray. Good morning. Let's see who else we got. Brian Showman. Hello, good to see you. Chelsea May, I kiss Terry Barnes. Perk, what's up? How's it going down under? Getting some shrimp on the bob, eh? I can't do my accents, man. I don't know what I'm doing. Chelsea May, I kiss Peck, Nancy Marcho, Kim Crawford. I am back. Yes, you are. And it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. I am back. Good to see you back. Glad it's your birthday. There's still something wrong with your avatar, though. It's like the wrong colors. It's like yellow and green. It's supposed to be blue and orange. I still don't understand that. I get it, but my character will never understand what that's supposed to mean. Nancy Marcho, Brian Showman, Terry Barnes, I am back. Chelsea May, Luna Knights. No expectation of privacy. Gasp. Let's see. I'm back. Kim Crawford, Lunar Nights. Looks like I said. Mr. Vasago, 89. Vasago. Yeah, we don't want to Beetlejuice that guy. Graham, what's up, my man? Good to see you. As always. And I don't think I missed anybody. All right, so couple people mentioned this, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys are aware, in case you didn't know. This is from my merch store, and this is one of my t-shirts. And look at this. It's the No Expectation of Privacy Magic Words t-shirt. So you definitely could get that on the back. It's got my little avatar there. So just FYI, there's a link in the description below if you guys wanted to check that out. Perfect for the Halloween season because it's, got a mean old looking witch on it. Billy Yank, good morning. What's up? Good to see you. Internet God's in here too. I didn't see him. Hey, there he is. Bring me the head of the Arizona Jeep girl. Oh, no. So, doing pretty good today. Good to see so many wonderful people in here once again this morning. Love you guys. And it's always a great way to start the day. Couple quick updates on what's been going on with this Darrell Brooks deal we've been talking about. So apparently what happened was he was found guilty on all counts. And of course, he tried to get the mistrial because of Reddit post. A lot of theories floating around about what that Reddit post is and where it came from. But the fact of the matter is, I think just from my experience with Reddit, and I don't know if I should admit that I have a lot of experience with Reddit, but I do, because I always post on the Frauditor subreddit and the Am I Being Detained subreddit. I used to post on the Sovereign Citizen subreddit, but then whoever the mod of the Sovereign Citizen subreddit is banned me because most of my videos were about frauditors and not technically sovereign citizens. So whatever. But anyway, Maggie K was up. But anyway, so from my experience with Reddit, I honestly believe that it wasn't anyone involved in the trial at all. That it wasn't Brooks himself, that it wasn't any of his lackeys or anything. I think it was just some random troll idiot who's been watching it on TV. Because when you look at the things he said in his post, he's like, oh, yeah, and this guy taught Roisin, what's up? This guy taught me about subject matter jurisdiction and this and that and the other thing. I think the guy was being a smartass. I think he was being sarcastic, like, hey, guys, we have to give him a mistrial because he's right about all this. And then he just named all the sovereign citizen nonsense. I think it was just a troll. And then when they actually mentioned his post on TV in the trial, he was like, whoa, no, wait a minute, hold on, no, I don't want the cops coming after me. I'm just some random idiot who posted something stupid. That's my theory on it anyway. So Maggie, you're out of creamer. Oh dear. What can we do? Because sometimes I'll try to replace. I don't want to recommend replacing creamer with milk because it's not the same. It's not. It isn't, but it does work, but it's not the same. Maybe if you heat the milk first and then whip it up a little bit, you have to spend 20 minutes just setting up your milk, turning it into cream, right? One of the things that I do sometimes, like if I start running out, is I'll take like an old creamer bottle of the liquid creamer and I'll put some milk and some powdered creamer and some sugar and shake it up and use that as an emergency replacement. But whatever's clever, Trevor. Coffee. I don't know what happened, man. I woke up real early this morning, like 4. So I've just been trying to set everything up. Also, another quick update. I have decided that on Halloween, I'm gonna like Halloween night. I'm gonna do a marathon stream. I'm gonna be on as long as you guys are showing up, and I want to keep it going at least until midnight, possibly even later, because I guess technically 3 a.m. is the witching hour, and it's Halloween night. So I want to do my best. So I'm gonna do all kinds of stuff on Halloween. I'll probably spend some time just playing, scary music. And I don't mean like, sound effect music. I mean like punk rock, death metal, stuff that Black Sabbath, stuff that I think is appropriate for Halloween night. We might even check out a couple scary movies together because there are some that are public domain. Biggest one being Night of the Living Dead. So we could actually sit and watch that together. That might be fun. Whatever it is, I'm definitely doing something on Halloween, and I plan for it to be big, long, like a long stream, hours and hours and hours. Because once the kids are done trick or treating, and they're with their mom in Wisconsin right now, and she's gonna take them trick or treating, so I'm just gonna be here, just watching scary movies anyway. So I figure why not do it with you guys and have some fun with it. Make it a my online Halloween party stream. So that's my plans for Monday night. Of course, I'll still be here Monday morning doing my regular thing. But Monday night it's gonna be fun. And then over the weekend, I'm gonna set some stuff up. I got some surprises in store for you. It's gonna be fun. And what else do I got before I get into the bulk of the show? I don't know, just basically saying hello to you guys. Love you. Thank you for joining me. Daryl Brooks guilty on all counts, which is by beautiful thing. So let's start with this. So once the Brooks trial ended and he got found guilty of everything, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm done with the court stuff for now. And then after all that, Vito, what's up? Salacious. Hey, good to see ya. So check this out. Well, wait a minute. The original Nosferatu's in public domain. You know what, Peck? They're actually working on a remake of Nosferatu, and generally, I don't like remakes. But the guy who's directing it is the guy who did The Witch and The Lighthouse, and I loved both of those movies. So I got faith that if the studio allows him to do what he wants with it, that he's probably going to end up doing something pretty cool. Benjamin Walter, hello. There was a press conference after the trial. Yes, there was. Absolutely, there was. It was interesting to hear. The prosecution talking about how their biggest challenge was dealing with his sovereign citizen nonsense. And she even called it nonsense because once the trial's over, then you could speak freely. So that's interesting. There's still a lot of good stuff coming with that because on Monday, Halloween, they're going to do the scheduling for the sentencing. And then before the sentencing, that's when family members and victims are going to be able to be allowed to come out and say their piece. And I just keep remembering like that clip of that day in the Jeffrey Dahmer trial when the one lady, like the cops had to hold her back because she's like, yeah, Jeffrey, you're going to die, Jeff. Because we had that one guy yesterday while they were reading the verdict. For those of you who don't know, they're like, Daryl Brooks found guilty of first-degree intentional homicide using a dangerous vehicle or whatever. And then the second count. And then after they started reading the third count, some random person in the gallery was like, burn in hell, you piece of shit. And they immediately ejected that person from the courthouse. But before the sentencing, when they allow people to come up and say their piece, that kind of stuff is going to be, everybody's going to be saying that. But it is, and again, I was saying this after he gave his closing argument, his big, and I really hope that one of the people who are allowed to talk mention this to him, It's this idea that he wants us to feel sorry for him because he gets so sad when he gets letters from his daughter. But um, the little kid Jackson that he ran over, their parents are never going to get a letter from him because he's dead. At least your daughter's still alive. There's a little bit of a difference there. Yeah, I can feel sorry for you that you only get to see her through glass maybe once, but at least she's still alive for you to get letters from her, for you to see her. So that whole thing just doesn't hold up. But everything he says doesn't hold up because it's Daryl Brooks. Oh, and by the way, just another nuts in the house. What's up? Good to see you, buddy. So anyway, we got this. His conscience is clear, and so is his intelligence. Nothing there. So anyway, that trial's over. I figure I'm done with the court proceedings and all that stuff. And then, ladies and gentlemen, a miracle occurred. Brooks' trial ends. I'm done with the court stuff. I go on YouTube, and guess who's back in court? You know. I know some of you know who's back in court. Who was back in court yesterday? Anyone know? Put it in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Who was back in court yesterday? Do we know? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Kim Blandino. He filed an appeal for his conviction. Of course he did. And I guess ever since then, he's been arguing with his lawyer. Because if you remember, he tried to represent himself, and he was doing such an insanely horrible job that that his lawyer was begging the judge, please let me quit. Please let me leave this case. This guy's I can't talk to this guy. So yesterday was a hearing for the lawyer trying to get out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share that real quick because this is some good old-fashioned Kim Blandino nuttiness. Check it out, guys. Good stuff. Good stuff. Kim Blandino's back.
No, because you've not been allowed to withdraw from the Supreme Court.
So they said there is no conflict of interest. And I would agree with them. There's no conflict of interest. We have a conflict.
Right, but they denied your motion. So I'm just trying to figure out how you could stay on, because if you stay on the Supreme Court, sorry, you're staying on this one.
Well, Your Honor, again, I believe they misread my motion when it was filed.
Good luck with that one.
Well,
I mean, you know what I mean?
Please come to order. Court is now back in session.
Okay, so y'all ready to go? Where's Mr. Dickerson? State versus Blandino, C-341-767. He is present. He is in custody, and this is on for revocation hearing. The state can make their appearance.
Mike Dickerson of the Athens State, Your Honor, bar number 13466.
Morning, Your Honor, Joseph Gershon, 13876.
Okay, I did see your motion. I'm not gonna allow you to withdraw because I don't think that the issues that you raised are specific to you. That's what Mr. Blandino does. And if he, let me finish.
Yes, Your Honor.
And if he chooses not to talk to you, he does that at his own peril.
Judge, no, he hung up on me. He's refusing to communicate with me, Judge. He hung up, I got witnesses at the CCDC that he hung up on me, said, I'm not gonna be insulted. I was not insulting him. I was
Well,
respectfully
people
telling
don't
him the
have to
truth.
stay on the phone if they're being insulted.
I wasn't insulting him.
Okay, well,
I presume not
he
guilty of
believed
that.
you were insulting him.
Your Honor, as I mentioned in my motion, I do have some issues that I don't believe are appropriate for open court. And I had mentioned that I would like to talk to the court in a sealed session. There are some really
I can guarantee you they're not unique to you. That's what he
I'm
does because
I'm
he
pretty
wants
sure-
to
I
represent
object to that's
himself.
what he does. Judge.
That's what, that's.
I
mean,
object
you
to
can
that.
Look at the record. I mean,
Yeah,
I
no, I'm-
knew you would file a motion shortly. I knew it.
No,
It was a matter of time.
Well, Your Honor, I'm pretty sure some of the issues I have are unique. And I think that if you heard them, you would find them to be, pretty awful.
Well, you
All right, hold on a second. I wanna take a minute and put this a little bit in context because it looks like some of my people don't know anything about Blandino. So first of all, as you can see, he's all chained up. He's in custody. So here's what happened. All right, I'll go all the way back to the beginning if you have no idea who this guy is. So first of all, years ago, this is one of those types of situations where it's like what he did was illegal, but he got convicted of kidnapping. But it was one of these situations where him and his wife were getting divorced. He picked up the kids and split. So they were his kids. It's not like he just randomly, kidnapped a bunch of children. But he did end up getting convicted for kidnapping because he did not have permission to leave the state with the children. So that was how it all started. And ever since then, he's been fighting against the state of Nevada. This whole thing where he's at right now started with a stupid traffic citation. And when they took him to court, the first thing he did was he put in a motion to disqualify the judge because he decided that any judge who would find him guilty was breaking the law and had to be disqualified. Now, the idea that you can put in a motion to disqualify a judge is a thing. Like, for example, if I have a relative who's a judge, for example, and I go to court and it turns out that the judge that is assigned to my case is my cousin, I could put in, I have the right to ask that judge, be taken off the case because that's a conflict of interest. We know each other. They might, have bias towards me because they're my relative. So because of things like that, you are legally allowed to do that. The problem with Kim Blandino was every single judge that he got, he would just immediately file a motion to get rid of that judge. So they'd give him a new judge. He'd file a motion to get rid of that judge. They'd give him a new judge. And he just kept doing that. So much so that he was declared a vexatious litigant. In other words, he was to be treated as someone who all of his motions are immediately denied or have to be reviewed by the DA before they can be presented to the court. So he's been representing himself with all of that. So finally, they assign him a lawyer. So he starts sending threatening letters to the lawyer. He's showing up at the DA's office, threatening him and telling him that if you press charges against me, I'm going to have you disbarred and this and that. So now he had a new trial for that, for threatening, intimidating, harassing DAs, lawyers, judges, all of these people. And that's why he's in prison right now. So now he's filing an appeal, of course, because these guys always do, right? And because of his attitude and because he just argues with the lawyer all the time, what we're watching right now is his lawyer put in a request to be taken off the case, and his request was denied. So right now, what we're literally watching at this moment is a hearing where the lawyer is making the argument that, no, you guys denied my request because you don't understand my request. I'm not telling you that I have a problem with this, that, or the other thing. What I'm telling you is I have a problem with him. I don't want to work for him because I can't work with him because he's Kim Blandino. And this judge is extremely familiar with Kim Blandino. All of his cases are on the internet, and she was involved in many of them. So she knows what Kim's about. So that's why this lawyer is trying to tell her, come on, judge, you know this idiot. Take me off the case, please. but they can't allow Blandino to self-represent anymore because he's a vexatious litigant. So that's what this argument's about, just to get you guys caught up a little bit. And one other thing too, if you watch like my regular intro on my regular videos, it always ends with before Blandino was convicted, when he was in court during a break, he started dancing. So I have a mix of Blandino dancing. It's funny. Anyway, here's some more Kim Blandino being himself, which is not necessarily a good thing. But it's great for us because it's free content. But here you go.
Why didn't you file an affidavit?
Well, again, Your Honor, these just happened last week. There's a whole history here, Your Honor. But they just happened last week. I got in the motion as fast as I could because of this coming hearing right now. So again, Your Honor, just for completeness, you know how Mr. Blandino is. I would like to at least be able to present them to you. If you still think it's not appropriate, then fine. I would just like to make a complete record with you if I could, so that, because as you know, that's what Mr. Blandino does, is he just, goes on a record. So that is my request, Your Honor.
He wants you to withdraw.
No, and I understand this. I've spoken with Mr. Christensen about this. He has a plan in place, I believe.
All right, sorry to pause it there, but Veen's asking, was he a frauditor? No, what happened was the way that he came to our attention was when this whole thing first started way back up, probably over a year ago. Law Talk with Mike did a Sovereign Citizen in Court video featuring Kim. And then Kim actually came on Law Talk with Mike's show as a guest to say, hey, I'm not a sovereign citizen. I just know my rights. And I'm, he definitely doesn't identify as a sovereign citizen. It turns out, we found out through watching his trials that he's not a sovereign citizen, but his ideas, they're his ideas. They don't come from the script, because he doesn't just recite the same nonsense that they all recite, like Daryl Brooks did. He definitely does have his own thing. The problem is it's cut from the same cloth. His ideas are based on the same thing their ideas are based on. So he thinks that he could just do whatever because he has the right to do whatever. And he also keeps going back to the idea that, and a lot of sovereign citizens throw this out there, Daryl Brooks did. He falls back on the idea that, God gave me my rights and the 10 Commandments and this and that, and no other laws matter. So I could do whatever I want as long as I'm not, murdering people or stealing stuff. But that means what? You can threaten judges and all these other people with all these frivolous lawsuits and file all these frivolous claims and blah, blah, blah. So it's all the same old nonsense. But it all started with, we thought he was a sovereign, but it turns out, no, he's just a nut. So anyway, here's some more Kim Blandino nuttiness.
Again, I would like to explain that to you, and I guess it would be an ex parte.
Well, if you want, then you can file an affidavit and I'll order it sealed and it'll be made part of the record.
Judge, if I may?
No, you may not.
I object.
Your objection's noted.
Thank you.
So.
Well, then, okay. Again, I would object, but I understand where you're coming from.
Sorry to stop it again so quick, but I got to mention this because this is great for those of you who aren't familiar with the Kim Blandino deal. One of the funniest things he ever did in court was last year when he was originally requesting to represent himself and had his initial hearing where he initially was allowed to represent himself before all this other craziness happened and they forced him to have a lawyer. They had a competency hearing to make sure that he was competent to represent himself. So when the judge announced that they found him competent, he objected. He objected to being found competent. How incompetent can you be to object to that? I request this, Your Honor. Okay, I grant this. Will I object to you granting that? This is Claim Blandino.
I've been dealing with Mr. Blandino, I get it. I know
You
that,
object to what?
that he won't let me withdraw
Right, at this point,
and or present, this information to you.
oh no, I'll let you present it, but you need to prepare an affidavit.
And again, Your Honor, I have a real concern about what I'm going to be presenting. But that's fine, Your Honor, I will,
You have a concern about putting it in writing?
yes, Your Honor, exactly.
What would be the difference? Because if you told me there would be a transcript,
Sure,
do you see my point?
I do.
You know,
I do.
even if I excused, the state, I still.
Well,
would
again,
have
Your Honor,
record.
I mean, it's maybe Your Honor would, in a sidebar, listen to what I have to say, and then make a determination if it's necessary to do all that or not. That's what I'm asking for. If that doesn't work for Your Honor, fine,
I'd rather have it in
Sure.
an affidavit.
sure. One of the other issues, Your Honor, is, and I have been, one of our witnesses, Mr. Eric Chandler, Officer Chandler, I know he contacted Chambers. We have him subpoenaed here for today. He cannot be here today. And because he does the parole board revocations, I know he communicated that.
News now,
your-
enemy. What's up? We're watching Blandino
your
yesterday.
He communicated it to me
Yoda,
out
what's
of
up?
professional courtesy. I released him from the subpoena because he wasn't gonna be here. He couldn't be here. He had asked me to respond to you that Thursday, he does that every Tuesday. So he's available on Thursdays. That's that. And again, Your Honor, we don't have a written response because of what happened last week with Mr. Blandino and I. Because there's also a motion to impose sentence. That's what I thought was on, not the revocation, the motion to impose sentence.
Well,
So,
in my opinion, it's the same thing.
but the only reason I'm bringing it up again is Mr. Dickerson made a real distinct point in his motion to impose sentence that it was something different. So again, just so I can make the record on that. And again, I was ill last week. Mr. Blandino acted up on me. We stopped communicating 100%. So I was not able to put together the motion. I was hoping for my motion to withdraw.
I'm sorry, he stopped 100%, Judge. I object to that characterization.
All right,
I'm willing to talk with him right now if he comes and sits down here, and I will communicate as much as he wants me to communicate.
can you all come back Thursday? I mean, I'm trying to get this done as soon as possible, especially since Mr. Blandino's already been in custody a couple weeks.
Judge, may I?
No,
I'm available Thursday if you need me, Your Honor.
Mr. Dickerson, I don't know, do you have witnesses that are here?
I do have two witnesses that are here, Your Honor.
Are they outside or are they here?
One's right here in the courtroom, the other one's outside.
Do you want to check to make sure that's
Yeah,
okay?
I can see.
It'll be 10:30, Mr. Dickerson.
10:30?
10:30 if you want to tell the witness.
Okay, and then my only issue with Thursday in that regard would be that, oh, you know what, I think I'm gonna be okay at that time. Yeah.
Judge, may I sit down?
Sure, of course.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor, that would work.
Debo's Nation, what's up? Good to see you.
No, because you have not been allowed to withdraw from the Supreme Court.
I believe there was I had filed a motion of an irreparable conflict. The Supreme Court read that as a conflict of interest, Your Honor. So they said there is no conflict of interest, and I would agree with them, there's no conflict of interest. We have a conflict.
Right, but they denied your motion. So I'm just trying to figure out how you could stay on, because if you stay on the Supreme Court, sorry, you're staying on this one.
Well, Your Honor, again, I believe they misread my motion when it was filed. We were.
Good luck with that one.
Well,
I mean, you know what I mean?
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it was clearly misread. So, we were going to file a motion for limited remand to you so that potentially you could replace me on both this and the Supreme Court one again.
Well, let me tell you, I'm not gonna reverse the Supreme Court. They denied your motion to withdraw, and if you want them
Based
to
on an irreparable
reconsider-
conflict, a conflict of interest, not a conflict with the,
I know what you mean.
and that's what it was. I mean, so if you read it closely, that's what it says. And again, Your Honor, Mr. Blandino has continued on with other activities that are making this very, very difficult from a philosophical, religious, professional, et cetera, way to represent him. So I understand the history of this case, and I think it's taken a little bit of a left turn. As I said, I've been discussing it with Mr. Christensen at the OAC. He may have a solution, but whatever you'd like me to do, Your Honor, I mean, I'm
It's gonna be the same problem
so.
with whoever is appointed. Because, you know, he doesn't like that the court revoked his ability to represent himself. So, and quite frankly, it went on probably too long. So we're gonna continue it to Thursday at 10:30. And if you can submit your affidavit in chambers, right? And I will order it sealed, so if you'll also prepare an order. It'll be marked and made part of the record, but it will be sealed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can I get a copy of that, Judge?
I'll make that determination after I see it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Gerson, also, if you don't have your file, just do it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So once again, we got Blandino being a blandouche bag. And yeah, that it's funny to me because that lawyer is just like, please, I don't care what the Supreme Court said, please. Like, don't make me represent this idiot anymore. All right, news now, enemy. We got my coffee right here. Oh man. Anyway. Oh, that's hot. I just refilled it while we were watching Kim. What's up, Damien? Anyway, yeah, if Blandino made a fort out of his boxes, again, for those of you who don't know Blandino, during his trial, he was coming in, he had a freaking hand cart filled with all of his boxes of all of his files. And he never ended up using any of them because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys, now that there's a little bit more people in here, let me see if I can get this to work here. Let's see, how can I do this? I want to get this on here. Well, one of my, oh wait, I know how to do this. I got it. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. I'm going to do this right here. All right, maybe it'll work this way. I got this from a subscriber, and I love it. I think it's really cool. I want to show it to you guys. Look at this. He took me and turned me into a real superhero. You see that? Look at that. Is that beautiful or what? I love that. What do you guys think? Is that hip or what? Turned me into a real superhero. I love it. Yeah, that was really cool. And yeah, I got that in my email. So I appreciate that. The time and effort that went into making that is so cool. It's got the Perry hat on, the outfit, everything, the beard, even my glasses. That's great. I love it. Skinny legs. Yeah. Well, that's it. It's like a cartoon, right? So it's pretty hip. Yeah, I dig that. So thank you very much for sending that over. I love it. Definitely wanted to feature it on here and let everybody see it. It's great stuff. Great stuff. I got the best fans. I'm telling you, I love you guys so much. All your support and everything for the channel is just, it blows my mind every morning when I come on here and all you guys show up. And anyway, there's a couple other little things I wanted to show. Nothing too big. Don't want to spend too much time on this stuff. I'm going to start with something real short. I'm going to show a clip from a new Long Island audit video. I'm only going to show this one little clip from the beginning of it because one of the arguments that everybody who supports Long Island audit is that he's a good one. He's a real auditor. He's not a frauditor because he always talks so calm and so nice. And then he posted a video yesterday and I'm watching it. And the reason why I'm not going to show the whole video is because nothing really happens. It's just him spouting the same old nonsense he always spouts. The reason I wanted to show this specific part is because he's talking to a cop and the cops or security guard, whatever, and the dude's calm. And Long Island audit, the guy who I say just because he's calm doesn't mean what he's saying is wrong. Just because he's saying it calmly, says that to the security guard. Well, just because you're talking calmly doesn't. And it's like, dude, you're describing yourself. These guys with their projection is insane. So I just want to play that clip so that you can see what's going on. Ugh. Here we go. Watch this. No. There it is. Watch this and listen closely to what he says to this guy about talking quietly and how that doesn't mean it's okay. Even though everyone who supports Long Island audit says it's okay when he does it. Everything's okay when these guys do it, but if somebody else does it, oh no, you can't do that. That's a violation of my rights.
Make a video.
I'm just taking some pictures and video of the facility here, sir.
On whose behalf?
On my behalf, sir.
You can shut it down. You can. You're not allowed to.
Why aren't I allowed to?
You are not, unless you are a customer.
What do you mean? Of course I'm a customer of the DMV.
If you
No,
want
you're
to
not.
somebody talk to a supervisor, sir, but you're not allowed to. Until then, you're not allowed.
Can I get, you work for Allied Universal? Can I get your name?
No.
I can't get your name, sir.
No. You want to talk to a supervisor, sir?
I don't really need to talk to anybody,
So
sir.
why are you making a video?
If you identify yourself to me properly and you come at me with respect, then you start taking me with respect, then
Do you see
I can
me
explain
yelling?
to
Do
you.
you see me yelling?
Just because you're not yelling doesn't mean you're being
So I'm being
uncooperative.
respectful, sir.
Identify yourself to me properly and you come at me with respect, then you start taking me with respect, then
Do you see
I can
me
explain
yelling?
to
Do
you.
you see me yelling?
Just because you're not yelling doesn't mean you're being
So
uncooperative. Then
Do you see
I can
me
explain
yelling?
to
Do
you.
you see me yelling?
Just because you're not yelling doesn't mean you're being
So
uncooperative. Then
Do you see
I can
me
explain
yelling?
to
Do
you.
you see me yelling?
just because you're not yelling doesn't mean you're being
So I'm being
uncooperative.
respectful.
Just because you're not yelling doesn't mean you're being uncooperative. He just described himself. That's the whole anti-Long Island audit argument. And now he's making that argument to this guy. Well, just because you're not yelling, that doesn't mean anything. You're being uncooperative. I wonder if that reminds you of anybody. Maybe Sean Paul Reyes, the guy who's not yelling but being uncooperative? Doy! Oh, man. So stupid, so stupid, so stupid. Anyway, I have to say hello and welcome to Script Cat. Always great to have you in the house. Love your work. Glad to have you here. So I keep telling you guys, I have the best fans. And then you look every morning, who do I have in here? I get Team Skeptic in here. I get Frauditor trolls one of my members. I get unclean hands in here sometimes. Come on, man. You guys are the best. I love my audience so much. We got Script Cat in the house, commentator, auditor, and plus all my regulars. I kiss always. Again, sorry about what happened to you yesterday with somebody accidentally blocking you off my channel. That, believe me, I would never ever think of that, especially with you. Salacious. Oh, let's see, Debo's Nation. Look at all these great people I got in here. Even Dave A. Perillo. You know, as much as he comes on here and talks trash, he's here every day. He's one of us, man. As far as I don't know, part of the family. Like I said yesterday, he's like that uncle that everyone's like, oh no, not this guy again. But he's still there. There he is. I just said unclean hands, and then he shows up. He's like Beetlejuice, man. I said his name enough times. He popped in here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Did Hez say IKISS was blocked? Yeah, Salacious. What happened was Weeds Gador. See, I just said that I get all the best people, and then all the best people pop in. But anyway, Salacious. Yeah, I investigated, and what happened was it was during a point where I had a sex bot in my chat. So I told my mods to shut them down. And, sometimes like to shut someone down, you have to click on their chat. The chat was moving at the time. So they accidentally clicked on IKISS. And so that was just a pure accident misunderstanding, and I fixed it. So not a problem now, not a problem at all. So for those of you who are just joining us, we just covered Kim Blandino's hearing yesterday, or at least the hearing of his lawyer requesting to be taken off the case because he just cannot come to terms with Blandino on any level. And the judge denied it because she basically said, first of all, the Supreme Court had already ruled that he can't leave. And he wants to get away from Blandino so bad, he's literally begging the judge, please, I don't care what the Supreme Court said, they're wrong. Let me stop working for this guy. This guy's no good. I can't work with him. But whatever. And then after that, I just got done showing a clip of Long Island Audit. And I picked that specific clip because he, again, all the supporters of him always talk about how he's nice and calm, so he's a good guy. And this is a video he just posted yesterday of him talking to a security guard and telling the security guard, just because you're not yelling doesn't mean anything. You're being uncooperative. Who doesn't yell but is at the same time more uncooperative than Long Island Audit? And I love the fact that he told the guy, he tells him, well, if you'd identify yourself to me properly, I would let you know what I'm doing. No, you wouldn't. We all know exactly what you would say. Oh, well, I'm just a journalist working on a story. That's not an answer. I can't tell you what the story is because I'm an asshole. I mean, frauder. I mean, auditor. Oh, man. Anyway, the next thing I wanted to show is, again, it's just going to be a short little clip. I wanted to give an example. I wanted to talk about this because although I don't support what they're doing, I like the fact that, and this is regarding News Now Omaha. For anyone who doesn't know, he made his bones in the industry, the frauditing community, by literally doing things specifically to look like he's about to try and shoot the cops. He would dress like all in black with the black mask and a black hat and everything all covered up and dark sunglasses. And then at one point he was hanging out with PayPal Patty, and Patty actually called 911 to report a suspicious guy so that the cops would show up. Right? So this guy would absolutely purposely go out of his way to bait the cops. And then when the cops showed up, he'd start reaching behind his back like he's going for a gun. And then when the cops would freak out, he'd say, what? I got an itch on my back. That's all. Well, he had a lot of itches on his back because it happened in every one of his videos until eventually he realized, and he actually made this announcement on a live stream. And I was in his chat at the stream, and I I didn't talk to him, but I said a few things, and he read my comments and commented on them. But he made the announcement that he isn't going to do that anymore. That's too dangerous. And he finally realized how stupid he was being. So now his channel is dedicated to basically doing the same thing I do, right? Watching Frauditor videos and commenting on them. The difference is he gives positive feedback. He's like, yeah, you don't put up with those tyrants, and but at least he's not out there, being somebody basically suicide by cop is, well, I guess I can't say that word, and I just did. So thanks, YouTube. You're going to shut me down now, right? Because I said the S word. I could say shit all day, but anyway, I'm talking about the theme song from the movie MASH. The name of the song is Suicide is Painless. There you go. I'm talking about the Slayer song, Sacrificial Suicide. I'm not saying the word. So here's a little clip of what Floyd's doing nowadays, which is just commenting on other Frauditor videos. Just going to show you a little bit of that. Get up to date on where he's at right now. Oh, and it's a library audit that he's commenting on. And that's another thing that's just amazing to me in general, is the fact that so many of these guys are into the whole library thing now. Like, when this whole thing started with government accountability and transparency, the idea of it sounds like a legitimate thing that I would support. But when you're auditing random people on the street, when you're auditing post offices, when you're auditing libraries, what does any of that have to do on any level with your supposed goals? Nothing. Because your goals are a lie. Frauditor's lying? No, say it ain't so.
Call your sergeant.
Obey the rules.
Obey
You
what?
will be asked to leave
Explain
the
to me,
library.
what have I did wrong?
They are there.
What have I done
in
wrong?
the paperwork.
No, you tell me what I did wrong.
I did so.
Call your sergeant. Are you refusing to call your sergeant?
No, not at
So
all.
please call your sergeant. Have I
You
committed a
just-
crime?
I just came to
Have I
see-
committed a crime? Yes or no? So
No.
stop bothering me.
You go in front of me.
No, you go first. I'm going to
I
follow
don't
you
like
up.
it
I'm
when
going to
you're
escort you
hiding.
out the library.
Okay, guys, so this is why it's always important to film the police, especially when you're exercising your rights in a public building. So this man was filming the police, minding his own business. They approach him, try to hand him some paperwork about some library policy that has nothing to do with actual law or the Constitution of the United States. This is why it's always important to take the time, learn your rights, learn what you can't, and exercise those said rights, because if you don't, well, then they'll take advantage of you. They don't like it when you know your rights. This is why it's always important to film the police. Always film the police, because you never know what they're going to say. You never know what they're going to do. At the end of the day, it is your right to film law enforcement in the United States. Always film the police. I will put the original links in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And remember, it's very important that you film the police. I'm out, guys. Peace out, and bye-bye.
Can I help you?
All right. So anyway, and that's the other thing that I love. One of the things I wanted to illustrate about what he's doing, right? And of course, these guys aren't trying to go after him for copyright strikes because he's supporting what they do. But the fact that he's become a commentary channel, but offers almost no commentary, like that, what we saw right there is his entire commentary for the entire video. That's it. He said that, and then he plays it. if you legitimately want to put copyright strikes on people for using your content, that's somebody who deserves it. That's somebody who's breaking fair use, but they're not going to do that because he supports what they're doing, because he's on their side. Oh man, he's the wrong guy for everything. He's just why make a scene in a library? That's exactly the point. The whole thing is, and this is my theory, is that okay, so this is how I broke it down in my book, The Frauditor's Handbook, available now. Link in the description below. Um, the way I talk about it in there, and I still believe this to be true, is that when they first started and they were auditing police, it was one thing, but then after a while, cops started catching on to what these idiots are doing, and more police departments are being trained to just flat out ignore these morons. So the more that started happening, the more they started auditing private businesses and private citizens and all these other things, because that puts the police in a position when they get called, now they have to engage with the frauditor. If the frauditor just walks up to them, they're trained nowadays to just ignore them. So their bread and butter is having a negative police reaction. That's what their videos are all about, is instigating negative police reactions. So audit a regular civilian so that they'll call the cops, so that the cops will be forced, because they have to answer the call to engage. And now you got your content. Yippee. Yeah, we all know David. His story is, oh man. I wonder if auditors put their tongues on the camera poles in the wintertime. Yeah. Oh man, that would be great. And of course, they wouldn't pour hot water on it. They'd try to just yank it off. Just pour a little hot water, warm. It comes right off. It's a good thing to know. I grew up in the Midwest, so I know all about that stuff. So anyone who doesn't know, if you ever do get your tongue stuck to metal in the winter, you don't freak out and you don't pull it off, because then you're going to hurt your tongue. You just get some warm liquid, maybe some coffee or something, pour it on there. Maybe you'll burn your tongue a little bit, but it'll melt the ice. Your tongue will come right off and you'll be fine. Like I said, if it's too hot, you might hurt your tongue for a couple hours. Big deal. You never burnt your tongue before? Give me a break. Speaking of which, I developed a really bad habit when I was young, because my brother was, well, he still is. He's a monster. The dude's almost 7 feet tall. He can bench press me. The dude's a beast. He's a gorilla. Anyway, when I was a kid and my parents, we would order a pizza, it would always be a fight to get some pieces, because he'd be grabbing them all and just blah, 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 as fast as he can, so that I wouldn't get any. So I got in the habit of eating the pizza while it's still super hot. And I used to burn my roof of my mouth and my tongue constantly on pizza, so much so that now I can't eat cold pizza. It has to be like burning hot, and then that's what I like. It's just, I got used to it. My boss wishes I would. ATV Thunder, let me tell you something. Thunder. Yes. Always good to see you in here. If it's cold enough, that won't work. I'll tell you what, Dave. You do have a point there, because I remember about 2 years ago, I was in Wisconsin, and I saw some videos about this, so I wanted to see if they were real. Christina, what's up? So I boiled some water, and while the bubbles were still bubbling, I ran outside and tossed it in the air, and sure enough, when it hit the ground, it was snow. It was that cold out. So yeah, it all depends on the situation. Security camp, but these guys don't. Once they're asked about, stop treating all security guards the same. Some security guards have the power to detain. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, when they make the argument that the only thing a security guard can do is observe and report, it comes back to the whole reason why the Darrell Brooks trial was so important to me, because he's making the same arguments, which just goes to prove my point, which is that if that actually is true, then that means that you should be allowed to murder people. Well, murder's different than holding a camera. Yeah, but if a security guard can do nothing but observe and report, if that's true, then if somebody comes in there with a gun and starts shooting everybody, all the security guard could do is, there's a guy here with the gun, and can't make any effort to stop him? That doesn't make any sense. The arguments break down. Any authorized personnel can use reasonable force to remove a trespasser. And that's the other thing. And I always go back to this too. What is the purpose of trespassing laws if it's against the law to enforce trespassing laws? Then why even have them? Like, again, they always use the example. Well, if I came into your house and you asked me to leave, I'd have to leave. Well, that's different because that's my private property. Okay, but it's still trespassing. If somebody asks you to leave and you refuse to leave, you are now trespassing. And they love to twist words, right? Ask the cops, are you saying I'm guilty of a crime? That's not up to the cop to decide. That's up to the judge and the jury to decide if it goes to court. The cop can't say you're guilty of a crime. That's not his job. That's what courts are for, to make that determination. The cop is there to hopefully, if you're trespassing, to remove you from the building because you've been asked to leave. Therefore, you leave. Why is that so difficult to understand? And then they say, how could you tell me I'm trespassing? Because they asked you to leave and you didn't. That's the definition of trespassing. That's what trespassing is. Same thing with these idiots in their jurisdiction argument. Darrell Brooks, perfect example. You have no jurisdiction to try me. Why? Because it's a criminal case and you're in a criminal court in the district in which the crime took place, in the county in which the crime took place? What do you mean there is no jurisdiction? Well, it's subject matter jurisdiction because I'm a sovereign and you're not a. So, in other words, murder's legal for people if you just say, I don't accept my all caps name. Now I could go around running over people in my car and shooting people and this and that. And again, that's why I wanted to cover the Darrell Brooks thing, because when I get into arguments with these guys, they always say, if I bring up something like murder, they always say, well, that's completely different than holding a camera. Right. And this court case proves my point. If the law is that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, then that includes murder. Like the idea is, and he didn't even have a camera, but the frauditors, their whole thing is, if I go like this, that means all laws now do not apply to me because I'm doing this. But if anybody else does this, they're just a stupid can-backing Karen. Wait a minute. So when you do it, it's your First Amendment right. But when I do it, I'm just a stupid can-backing camera and you're going to FOIA my footage. Wait. Hold on a second. I confuse myself sometimes. So if a frauditor goes like this, all laws are suspended by the fact that they're doing this, and they can do whatever they want, whatever they want, because they're doing this. But if I do this, I'm horrible, I'm terrible, and I'm getting FOIA'd, and how dare I be such a snowflake and such a Karen that I'm going to cam back somebody who's doing this by doing this. Illogical logic. Oh, man. Yes, 2 FOIAs are better than 1 right here. Boom, boom, boom. Exactly. Oh, my God. Got me, didn't keep bare teeth. Did you see the video about the squirrel that got cut in the gutter downspout? No. Unclean. Who are you talking about? More frauditors getting arrested all the time. Yeah, Team was on here the other day saying that he thinks this whole frauditing thing is going to end pretty soon. A bunch of them are getting demonetized. More and more of them are getting people, that are in the videos that don't want to be them, filing, complaints on YouTube and getting the videos taken down. It's starting to build more and more. What they have to start doing is, I think, getting more savvy to the fact that it isn't about this guy comes and you just ignore him, because again, they put you in a position where you have to interact with them because that's how they get their content. And then this idiot auditing America going down to the islands and giving them a hard time. Well, you're part of the United States, so I could do whatever I want as long as I'm holding a camera. Again, holding a camera does not make all laws null and void because you have a camera in your hand. If that's not, none of their arguments make any sense at all because they're full of shit and they're stupid and dumb and idiots. Mano, Shevitz. They came to Vermont. I don't know who it is, but my hairdresser said they've been hitting the DMV. Yeah. It's. Oh, man, these guys, they're something else. There's no doubt about that. So, like I say, I'm gonna. I want to do something special Halloween night. Again, tomorrow's Friday, so I'll still be talking about this tomorrow morning too. But just FYI, so that everybody knows, I haven't decided what time yet or when I'm gonna, launch it. I got the whole weekend to set it up. Monday is Halloween. Monday morning, I'm gonna come on here and do my regular thing. But then Monday night, I'm gonna go live, and like I said, I'm gonna stream. I don't know how long it's gonna be. It's all gonna depend on my reaction, from the fans in the chat. But I'm going to try to make it like my online Halloween party. We're going to listen to music. We're going to watch scary movies. I'm going to come up with something. It's going to be fun. Your sister's birthday's on Halloween. Well, happy birthday to her. The game starts at 8:15. Is it the Bears? Well, then I don't care. Let's see. And even if there was a football game, it's more important. I guess, because I'm going to be talking to my kids that day too, because they're going trick-or-treating and this and that, and I'm going to want them to tell me the story and everything. So there's certain things that take priority, and I don't know. Usually on Halloween, I always do something. I always have a Halloween party. So like I said, this year I'm thinking, I'm going to do my online Halloween party. It's going to be my live Halloween stream. So again, we're going to have some fun on Halloween night. Again, I'll be here in the morning like I always am. I'll be here tomorrow, of course, and this and that. I know, again, today was a pretty short one, but, I'm trying to, I'm working on the stuff that's coming up because I want the Halloween thing to be like really something kind of special. Don't take candy from a stranger. Yeah, because they'll put razor blades in it, right? I saw Halloween too. I know how it works. Actually, that's that whole thing. I found out it's not that was an urban legend, but they've found that every time someone did something to the candy, it was always they had a specific target. Like it wasn't like someone just poisoned their candy and randomly gave poison candy to kids. It was always like a specific person who had a specific kid that was their target that made sure that that kid got that candy. That doesn't make it okay, but when that happened, it turned into this whole big urban legend that you can't go trick or treating because there's going to be razor blades and poison and all this stuff in your candy, and that has happened, but not really. It's not like they made it sound like the Tylenol scare. I don't know if you guys know, I'm from Chicago, so I heard all about this because it was in Chicago when it happened. But back in the 80s, this is why. In fact, this specific event is why it's hard to open any kind of pill bottles. What happened was somebody went into some drugstore somewhere in Chicago and took all the Tylenol bottles and opened them and poured poison in them and then closed them and put them back on the shelf. So all these people were taking Tylenol and being poisoned by it. So I don't know, man. Script Cat, my costume, it's going to be random. You'll see. I'll be wearing it during the stream, but I don't want to give too much away. I'm not going to be necessarily dressed up as a specific person or entity. I'm just going to have something for you guys. As far as when I actually go out on Halloween, what I like to do is, because it's really standard, really easy, and actually pretty scary. I have a burlap sack with one eye hole cut out and a flannel shirt. So I'll just put that on, button up the flannel shirt, and then I got my overalls and the bag on my head, and boom, I'm Jason Voorhees from from Friday the 13th, Part 2. Easy costume. It's going to be great. I'm not necessarily going to wear that on the stream, but I mean, that's usually what I wear when I go out. Yeah, that's the other thing too. They're putting drugs in there. Who's going to give away free drugs when you could sell them? That was another urban legend I used to hear a lot back in the 90s, was all these people would say, oh man, you can't smoke marijuana because people are lacing it with cocaine. It's like, if you could sell a bag of cocaine, why would you waste it by putting it on cheaper marijuana and lose money? Drug dealers aren't thinking about poisoning marijuana smokers with cocaine. They're thinking about selling their cocaine and making that big money. Why are they going to give it away for free? It just doesn't make sense. Dressed as Santa. I also was thinking about Elvis. I got where's my gnome? There he is. Say hello to the people, Elvis gnome. How are you, people? Oh, well, no, I should probably do an Elvis voice, right? Not trying to do a gnome voice. Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm the king of the gnomes, baby. I should do one of those bits where I take them with me. Oh, no, that doesn't work. Zombie elf. Ooh, Damien, you got to. Here, I'm going to do something real quick since that came up. Have any of you guys ever heard of Bubba Hotep? It's a movie. Let me see. And Bubba Hotep is a movie about. The plot is basically that Elvis wanted to take a break from being Elvis because he was so famous he couldn't even walk down the street. So he found an Elvis lookalike to replace him while he went on vacation. And then, what's up, Rogue Nation? So the plot of Bubba Hotep is that Elvis wants to take a vacation, so he hires a lookalike to pretend he's Elvis while Elvis is on vacation, and then the lookalike is the guy who died on the toilet. But then when he came back telling everybody that he really is Elvis, and he really was, they thought he was nuts because he thought he was Elvis, so they locked him in a nut house. Now, why am I bringing this movie up when we're talking about Halloween stuff? Because it's a crazy movie. Because while Elvis, the real Elvis, is locked up in the nut house because he thinks he's Elvis and nobody believes him. The nut house that he's in, I should say home, I guess, whatever, gets attacked by the mummy. Imhotep, that's why it's called Bubba Hotep, rises from his grave and starts attacking and eating the souls of all the dead, dying old people in the old folks' home. So Elvis has to go beat him up. So I just wanted to show. Let's see if I could find the specific clip I was looking for. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Hold on. Yeah, this is great stuff. This is a terrible movie, but I love it. So anyway, here's a clip from the movie. This is my favorite clip of the whole film. Is it on here? All right.
Don't make me use my stuff on you, baby.
Yes. Shop smart. Shop smart. Yep, that's right. That's him. Do Frankenstein. Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I've seen real mummies. So have I. I've been to the museum. They don't come after you, though. This is my boomstick. Ah! I love that guy, man. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Evil Dead 2 is one of my favorites, especially this time of year. Oh, I love that movie so much. That's like, if you know that that you can't afford great special effects, it's going to look cheesy. Instead of trying to figure out ways to hide the cheese, embrace it and go out of your way to make a close-up of the cheesiest bit you can find and go out of your way to extra cheesify it. Army of Darkness, that's right. Evil Dead 3, technically. Also, for anyone who doesn't realize, I know after 3 seasons it got canceled or whatever. What's up, Scott Ammo? But Ash versus Evil Dead, the TV show, is legitimate. Like it could be Evil Dead Part 4. Sam Raimi was involved. Raimi. The whole thing's great, and it follows the through line. It stays with the canon of the original films. It's great stuff. Let's see. I own the complete series. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. He's gonna get drunk and be like, "Hey, I got this book. Here, let me read some of it out loud." You idiot! You would have learned your lesson 30 years ago. Oh man. So that was that. That's all right, Scott. It's good to see you. Good to see you. As always, shoot it in the dark. That's always a thing. Like there's a lot of movies that have, bad special effects. So they purposely go out of their way to, like in horror movies, it's always a staple that everything's in the dark. But all right. Thank you, Script. Thank you for joining us. Good to see you always. But so anyway, yeah, they do that a lot. One of the reasons why everything's always so dark is if they have bad special effects, they're not highlighting it by lighting it well. That's one of the reasons why a movie like The Shining is so amazing of an example, because it's considered one of the best horror movies of all time, but it is extremely well lit. Like there's very little darkness in that movie. So they're not trying to hide anything. There was a Book of the Dead version of the movie. Yeah, like the DVD was in the book. That was pretty good stuff. Evil. See, I have kids, okay? So before I say this, I have to preface it by letting you know that I have a 8-year-old son and a 12-year-old son. Okay, so don't at me about why I would know this. But this year for Halloween, they put Ash and his chainsaw and the cabin in Fortnite, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. He's got the Book of the Dead as his backpack. He's got the chainsaw as his pickaxe. Good stuff. Good stuff. But anyway, like I said, at this point, I pretty much objection crowns. See, if it wasn't a murder trial, I've had so many different ideas for memes and T-shirts about this, like a picture of coffee grounds, objection grounds, or like that's the brand name, objection grounds. All kinds of stuff with a picture of Daryl, like but or that hard look he gave the judge that time. I don't know, different stuff. But anyway, that's like I said, short one this morning. I covered Blandino, Brooks, and all that good stuff. Again, I want to take some extra time to prepare for my Halloween stuff, but I'll be back tomorrow morning as always. Great to see all you guys. Always great to have you here. Love you guys. Love all the support. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. We got something from Rogue here. I got great news yesterday. Mark Stout did a video 4 months ago saying his memo was going to get my lawsuit dismissed. Judge just denied their motion to dismiss. Oh, yippee. Well, good for you. We'll see if you win or not. Congratulations on your not being dismissed. Okay. So, no harm ever came from reading a book except for the Book of the Dead. Oh, and Catcher in the Rye. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of reading. I always encourage my kids to read more. Made a word cloud of Brooks words and phrases. Nice. All right, Paracord Princess. Good to see you and hear from you anyway. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I got a super chat from David. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. See, this is what I'm talking about. Even though he's on the other side of the fence, he's part of the family, dag nabbit. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. I love you guys. And I will see you all tomorrow. Peace. Oh, wait. I got to do my proper outro. Sorry. Oh, yeah.